What's up, everybody? Welcome into Caleb's Cantina, where you'll never find a more delightful place where fandoms gather. In this video, we are doing a Fantastic Four First Steps spoiler review. So if you have not seen the movie and you're trying to avoid spoilers, save this video and then come back. But if you have seen this movie, I want you to sound off down in the comments section because I want to further have a discussion about this movie down in that comment section with each and every single one of you. So, sound off down there, and also please click that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. This channel is a place to have fun, being a nerd and sharing our thoughts. Regardless if we like something or didn't like something, we have a fun conversation with each and every single one of you here on this channel. So I would greatly appreciate it if you grabbed a seat in Caleb's Cantina and joined me on this nerdy ride. So let's get into spoilers. This is my spoiler review. I'm going to share my thoughts on this movie. Again, final warning, spoilers. Here we go. First things first, I actually felt stakes watching this movie, and that is something that I have not felt with a Marvel movie in a minute. I was invested with every single character. I was invested with the plot. I feel a sense of where this could possibly be going as we're trying to close out this multiverse saga, and that is very much so welcomed because this multiverse saga has been rocky, to say the least, but I think I'm enjoying where this might be headed. The next thing I need to discuss, obviously, is Franklin. Franklin, the son of Reed and Sue. He is born in this movie. He plays a massive part in this movie. Quite frankly, he is the plot device throughout this movie that makes this story just move along in continuation, clearly, because Galactus is hunting him down. I think, obviously, he's a massive piece in Avengers Doomsday. I would not be surprised at all if Doctor Doom takes Franklin, and that's why the Fantastic Four shows up in the main timeline. And maybe Doom goes there to try to escape, and the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards in particular, or maybe even Johnny, because he's able to quickly learn a language in this movie, maybe they somehow track him down. But I'm very much so excited with what they did with Franklin in this movie, and I'm excited about the future possibilities with that character. Galactus and Shala Ball both had my full attention whenever they were on screen. I really enjoyed the reveals, the action, the dialogue that both of them offer. Like, both of them were very chilling to me. I still really love the dialogue of, I herald your beginning, I herald your end, I herald Galactus. Like, I still got chills, even though I saw that in a trailer before the movie. I still got chills whenever that dialogue played out in the movie. And Galactus just storming around New York was awesome. Incredible. I really loved all of the Galactus and Shala Ball content that we got in this movie. The Fantastic Four members, I really feel like every single one of them portrayed their characters very well. But for me, Johnny Storm and Sue Storm both stole the show. I was really locked in with those characters. Joseph Quinn and Vanessa Kirby do a fantastic job. Quite frankly, I know Reed Richards has the brain throughout this movie, but both of them, Johnny and Sue, are kind of what gets us to the final points in this movie. Obviously, with Johnny figuring out the language and giving Reed enough information to gather a plan, and then obviously Sue Storm with her incredible powers taking care of Galactus. That was really cool. Both of them phenomenal. Really, all Fantastic Four members phenomenal. Now, speaking of Sue Storm, the death at the very end, I was surprised to be so emotional through that. And what got me was Franklin, like, looking at Sue dead and starting to cry, because immediately I thought of me as a father, me as a husband. I was kind of in Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic's shoes there, and it really got to me. I had to kind of look away from the screen for a minute because I could feel myself just kind of going to a place where I didn't really want to go to in public on an emotional level. So that was really well done. I thought the movie, though, and here's a couple of criticisms regarding the Fantastic Four members. I thought the movie could have done more with Mr. Fantastic's powers, the stretching, if you will, and I thought that the movie could have done more with Ben Grimm being the Thing. We got a sense of it, like his mental struggles that he has to deal with, because really the other three members of the Fantastic Four, their lives are enhanced by their powers and their abilities, but you could easily see an angle where the Thing's life is kind of depressing with his powers in a sense. So I feel like they could have dove into that more. They do it a little bit, maybe 5 minutes max, but I enjoyed what we got of that, but I feel like they could have dove deeper in there. Now, with Mr. Fantastic, when we get him in action, when we see his stretching capabilities, it's really well done. The CGI is really well done with it. Him getting his moment against Galactus was really cool, but Galactus stretching him out, pause, that was kind of really interesting. I was on the edge of my seat throughout that entire sequence. Each and every single one of the Fantastic Four members get to showcase their abilities in that final action sequence, which was really great. Now, I just mentioned it, the CGI, the graphics, the cinematography. This is, you've probably heard people say it, this is the MCU as beautiful as ever. I would love to see this thing in IMAX. I've seen people take pictures of the IMAX footage and screenings, and it looks incredible. I would love to go check it out in IMAX because I have full confidence that it would enhance my viewing and maybe give me a higher ranking as far as a review number if I was to see it in IMAX. For me, the beginning of this movie is clicking on all cylinders. The first 45 minutes was perfect, quite frankly. I love that they really summarized who the Fantastic Four were in 5 minutes. Like, it's not a here's your brand new Fantastic Four movie. Like, they already establish in 5 minutes how they got their powers, what they've been up to, why the people of Earth worship these four members, essentially. They are essentially this Earth's Avengers. People respect them, people love them, and they are quick to support them. And that kind of leads me to another criticism that I had. There was a massive moment for Sue, like, because when they come back, so again, this is open spoilers, when they come back from going to Galactus to try to prevent Galactus from destroying their Earth, everybody's like, give up Franklin, because that's the piece. Galactus won't destroy Earth if they give up Franklin. Well, obviously, Mom and Dad are not going to give up their son. Sue goes out and faces the mob. The mob's like, give up Franklin, and so on. She quickly gets them to be on their side. And I feel like that was a little unrealistic with how quickly she gets them to that point. But again, the movie establishes that people view Sue and everybody in the Fantastic Four, their opinions, especially Sue's, very highly. So it makes sense, but in today's climate with what we're living in, it just kind of took me out of it quickly because that's just so against what we're used to as a society and as a world right now, because people are so flagged down on their opinions and on their takes, and they're not budging regardless of what potential scenarios are there. So that moment was a little off to me, but I get it. I feel like I would probably not be bothered by that on a second viewing. And then another criticism that I had, the team kind of formulating a plan and theorizing a plan to defeat Galactus drug too long for me. Because they would come up with a solution, then it wouldn't work. They would come up with a solution, it wouldn't work. And also, like, their plan of using a decoy baby holder to get Galactus to a location so they could shoot him off into a different dimension or something along those lines, or to a different galaxy. Little flawed, because if Galactus had fallen for that, then I would have immediately thought, okay, Galactus wasn't a good villain, but I'm glad that he didn't fall for that, because Galactus remained a good villain because of that. So yeah, just the movement of them figuring out a plan and then getting to a plan that actually worked, it just took a while for me. I just kind of mentally thought, okay, let's figure something out already. Because it felt a good portion of this movie, which was an hour and 55 minutes to begin with. So it just felt like it took a little too long, in my opinion. But I digress. Dr. Doom. And let's get to the end credit scene. And this is kind of like my final spoiler thought. The end credit scene was awesome. It was finally time for the MCU to offer up an end credit scene that had me verbally say something in the movie theater. And I'm greatly interested in how we see Dr. Doom incorporated as we move forward. Obviously I don't expect him in Spider-Man 4, but maybe he somehow makes an appearance in that end credit scene. But ultimately, if we don't see him again until Doomsday, this end credit scene really sets it up, in my opinion. But because again, the theories are endless as far as how he could be incorporated into this thing at this point. I do believe that we've gotten confirmation from the director that that was in fact Robert Downey Jr. shooting that scene, and also I think that there might be confirmation out there that this universe is where the Doctor Doom that we're getting comes from. And we saw throughout this movie that the country that Doctor Doom resides in and that he represents, he's not showing up in these global meetings, and they make that a point because they point that out several times throughout this movie. So I feel like this is the starting point. This point right here where Doctor Doom comes face-to-face with Franklin starts off the events that we're going to get to in Doomsday. And I love that Franklin's touching his face. Maybe he's healing it. I've seen that theory out there. Again, the theories are endless, and I love that. It's been so long since we've had something to chew on to make the theories just go wild in the MCU, and I feel like this appearance of Doctor Doom meeting Franklin, Sue being upset, obviously, is very strong. And it's a strong start, and I cannot wait to see a continuation of this story. I said it in my immediate reaction, and I still feel the same way. Spider-Man is probably the character that I'm most invested in the current MCU timeline, like the characters that we have available at the moment. The Fantastic Four is second to Spider-Man. So this movie does a phenomenal job of getting to that point, of getting us to care about these characters very quickly. I'm locked in with these characters. I cannot wait to see more of them. Overall, I think I initially gave this movie an 8.5 out of 10. I think as I've chewed on it more, I enjoy it a little bit more. I still think I enjoy Superman more than Fantastic Four, but they're both so really well done. Like comic book movie fans, we are alive and well right now. I gave Superman a 9, so I'll give Fantastic Four an 8.8. It has gotten better as I've thought about it. I can't wait to go and watch this movie again. I have a feeling that my criticisms that I mentioned will not be that big of a deal on a second viewing because I know that they're coming. Maybe there will be more for me to dissect and intake on the parts that felt slower to me. This is a really great movie. In my opinion, the MCU could easily be back if they continue to capitalize on this momentum. Thunderbolts was solid. I haven't seen it, but I've heard that it was solid. Fantastic Four was great, in my opinion. Spider-Man 4 could be incredible. They've got the pieces there, and then we're into Doomsday and into Secret Wars. That's quite the back-to-back-to-back-to-back. Like, this is the momentum that we want as Marvel fans, and this is a great place as it continues that, hopefully. Again, I need to check out Thunderbolts to see if it's as good as people thought. But regardless, we're off to a good start here as we're trying to finalize this multiverse saga and as we're getting into Phase 6 and as we try to finish out Phase 6. So there's my spoiler review. Really enjoyed the movie. I thought all of the character moments were really cool. Cinematography was great. The action was great. Visually, it looked stunning. Shia LaBeouf was really cool. Galactus, really cool. Just a really well-done MCU movie, and that makes me extremely happy. What did you think of it, though? Again, sound off down in the comments. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section. If you've made it this far and you have not subscribed yet, please do that. I would love for you to join Caleb's Cantina as we continue to have some more fun. I got to get off of here because I have a couple of trailers to react to. I have seen that Peacemaker Season 2 had a new trailer as I was out of town this past weekend, so I haven't checked that out. And I've seen that Avatar Fire and Ash, I believe that's what they're calling it, has dropped its official trailer online, which I did get to see that in theater. But, you know, now we get to see it in high def, like full on right here in front of me, so I'll react to that as well. So click subscribe. More fun content coming from Caleb's Cantina soon, and I can't wait to have you on board as we continue to cover all things nerdy. I'll catch you on the next video. Let me know what you thought of Fantastic Four. Peace!